I have absolutely no idea what I just watched.
The wizarding and non-wizarding worlds have been at peace for over a century. Grindelwald wants to see that peace destroyed.
You want me to hunt him down? To kill him?
Okay, so, welcome to the Cinematic. Today we are reviewing Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. This is the second in the Fantastic Beasts storyline. I think it's the 8th or 9th movie in the Harry Potter series franchise, technically. So let's get into the cast. We've got Eddie Redmayne playing Newt Scamander. Also, Katherine Waterston as Tina Goldstein. Jude Law as Professor Dumbledore. He's new to this movie. So is Johnny Depp, who plays Grindelwald. Well, actually, he wasn't in the first movie. He was in like the last 10 minutes. Or even last like 30 seconds, really. Ezra Miller returns somehow. I'm pretty sure he got blown up into a million pieces in the first movie, but we'll get into that. Dan Fogler returns as Jacob, and then Alison Sudol, who plays Queenie, also returns. Director of this movie is David Yates. He also directed every Harry Potter since The Order of Phoenix, including the last Fantastic Beasts, so he knows his stuff when it comes to Harry Potter, directing Harry Potter movies. And I think for most of the other Harry Potter movies, he did a pretty good job, including the first Fantastic Beasts. Now, J.K. Rowling did the screenplay of this and the first one, and that is where I have some major problems with this movie. So, the story of the movie, following the end of Fantastic Beasts 1, Grindelwald, who is kind of like this wizard terrorist guy played by Johnny Depp, he is being held in the U.S. They decide to ship him off to Europe. Of course, he breaks out. Another part is after combusting into like a billion pieces at the end of the first movie, Ezra Miller's character Credence somehow is alive again. They never explain how or why, but he is alive again, and he is somewhere in France. Everyone needs him, and so Dumbledore sends Newt Scamander to get him before Grindelwald gets to him, just because he's like super powerful and he needs to be on the good side rather than the bad side. So, some pros with this movie. There's not a lot. Jude Law, I think, is a perfect fit as a young Dumbledore in this movie. They have this reason why he can't fight Grindelwald, so he just hangs out in Hogwarts during the whole movie. Another good part is Dan Fogler. He continues his character of Jacob from the first movie. He's very jovial, very fun. He brings a lot of the laughs and comedy to this movie, which there isn't a lot of. This movie is super dark. Grindelwald, just walks into this house and kills his family, including this, 4-year-old kid, 20 minutes into the movie. This is a pretty messed up movie. Now we'll get into the cons, of which there are a lot of in this movie. First of all, big picture stuff here. I have no idea what happened in this movie. I have no idea. This movie moves so fast, goes so many places, and it doesn't explain any of it. You have no idea what's going on. Up until the third act, the last 25 minutes of this movie, nothing is discovered. There's no progression in the story. It's just kind of 90 minutes of fiddling around in France, doing random side quests in a video game. This movie barely has anything to do with Harry Potter, almost. You never know when they're in the magical world or when they're in the real world. You're in this wizarding universe, and they barely even do anything with it. Most of the movie looks like it's just happening regular old France, and people just have wands. And poor Newt. Eddie Redmayne, Newt's character in the first movie, was so cool. I loved him. I love Eddie Redmayne. But they ruined him in this movie. First, this movie barely has... It's called Fantastic Beasts. But this movie has 3 beasts in it. They aren't even that cool. The CGI on them is not that great. They don't really explain why the beasts are there or how they find them. Literally, there's this one giant cat lion thing, and he catches them by shaking a little cat toy. That's it. And they do that 2 or 3 times. And it's that's the best you could come up with. This is supposed to be the movie's called Fantastic Beasts. But that completely goes out the window. Newt isn't this cool creature dude. He does get to do a few things, but he's pretty much just been relegated to this guy with a wand that's trying to hunt people down. He's like any other wizard. This also goes back to the script. A lot of characters make really, really dumb decisions in this movie. The Queenie-Jacob relationship takes a whole different turn. It splits up 15 minutes in the movie, and it makes no sense why. And then at the end, these characters are unnecessarily betraying each other, making unnecessary sacrifices. All the progression in the story happens in the last 5 minutes. A lot of it doesn't need to happen. I'm still not even sure what happened. And none of it makes any sense. This movie didn't really need to. This movie only exists to set up a third movie, in which is supposed to be a 5-movie series, according to J.K. Rowling and the internet. So I'm not really sure why this movie exists. I didn't enjoy it. So overall, I saw this movie right after seeing the first one. I literally rented the first one on Amazon at like 10 a.m., watched it, and then at like 1:30 or 2, went over to see the second one. And I really liked the first one. I didn't really have any expectations. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked the cast. I thought it had enough CGI, it had enough effects, and an easy enough to follow story that you didn't need to have a super big Harry Potter lore expertise to understand it. But this movie has none of that. The majority of this movie is boring and honestly felt like a waste of time. This is going to seem harsh. I'm giving Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald a 3 out of 10. And I don't say that lightly. I know it's easy to shit on some movies. I think this movie deserves it. If you're a diehard Harry Potter fan, you might enjoy this more than me. And if you enjoy this, go right on it. I'm not saying you're a bad person for like this movie. Maybe this movie isn't meant for me. Although if it's not meant for me, then it's probably not meant for like 90% of the audience that's going to go see this. If you're not a diehard Harry Potter fan, if you don't need to consume every single piece of media that is Harry Potter, do not go see this in theaters. Do not waste your money. That's my verdict for Fantastic Beasts 2. Maybe you agree with me. Maybe you think I'm dumb. Maybe you think my opinions on movies are dumb. But that's okay. Movies are completely subjective. We all look at them differently. We all have different experiences. And that's okay. That's all right. If you like this review or you hated it, that's okay. Stick around for more. We are in the middle of movie season. We are in the middle of Oscar season. I'm seeing movies like every 3 days at the theater. The AMC employees basically know my name at this point. Get in there, get my vanilla Coke. I'm loving it. I'm loving the fall movie season. So keep it locked here for way more reviews. We got them coming. I'm going to have them coming every couple days. We're going to have so much stuff here on the cinematic. So keep it here. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next review. Thank you very much.
Let's take him.